the general prologue of the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer serves as the introduction to the entire collection. So, written in Middle English in the late 14th century, it sets up a frame story where a group of pilgrims traveling together to the shrine of St. Thomas Becket in Canterbury. So, let's discuss the opening scene of the general prologue. So, it begins with a famous description of spring, when April's rain bring new life, bird sayings, and people feel inspired to go on pilgrimages. The narrator here is the Chaucer himself. Okay, so he is staying at Tabardine in Southwark near London. So there he meets a diverse group of pilgrims. So Chaucer introduces around 30 characters, and each representing different classes and professions of medieval society. Okay, so now I am going to give you a short description about all the characters from the Canterbury Tales. So, listen carefully. Okay, so the first character is the knight, a noble, chivalrous and honorable warrior who has fought in many battles. So here the knight represents the ideal of medieval knighthood. Number 2, the wife of Bath. So she is a confident, worldly and experienced woman. So she is known for her multiple marriages and bold view on love, marriage and female authority. Number 3, the monk. So he is a wealthy churchman who prefers hunting and worldly pleasure over strict religious duties. So here the monk symbolizes the corruption in the church. Number 4, the clerk of Oxford. A poor but dedicated scholar devoted to learning and philosophy. So often spending money on books rather than personal needs. Number 5, Miller. So he is a strong, rough and a crude man, fond of drinking and telling about tales, representing the lower and more boisterous side of medieval society. The next character is the prioress, a refined nun, gentle and polite, more concerned with manners and appearance than deep spirituality. The next, the friar, a jolly and sociable churchman, skilled at persuasion and profit-seeking, often corrupt in his duties. The next character, the merchant, a shrewd businessman, outwardly successful but strictly burdened with debt. The next, the physician, a learned doctor, skilled in medicine and astrology but motivated more by money than to care for patients. Okay, so the next character is the parson, a humble, devout parish priest. So he is sincere in faith and dedicated to guiding his flock with honesty and virtue. So the next character is the squire, a young romantic knight in training, talented in arts and devoted to courtly love. The next one is the franklin, a wealthy landowner fond of fine food, wine and hospitality, and he is living a life of pleasure. The number next is the sergeant at law. So he is a respected lawyer, wise and knowledgeable, though often appearing busier than he truly is. Okay, the next is the summoner, a corrupt church official who calls sinners to court, repulsive in appearance and morally questionable. The next one is the pardoner, a cunning churchman who sells fake relics and indulges, exploiting people's faith for profit. Next one is the yeoman, a loyal attendant to the knight, skilled in woodcraft and archery, practical, outdoorsy and hardworking. The next one is the shipman, skipper, a tough and cunning sailor, experienced in navigation and battle at sea, but he is not always entirely honest. Okay, so the next one is the manciple, a shrewd steward of a law court, clever at managing money and often outsmarts his masters despite being uneducated. Next one, the reeve, a bad-tempered estate manager who knows all the tricks of his workers and keep them in check, secretly corrupt. The next one, the plowman, the parson's honest brother, hardworking and virtuous. So here he is representing the ideal Christian laborer, devoted to God and duty. So the next character is the haberdasher, a prosperous tradesman who sells hats, clothing and accessories, part of a guild fraternity. The next one is the carpenter, a skilled craftsman, hardworking and respectable, also part of the guildsman group. The next one is the weaver, an experienced cloth maker producing fabric. He is also among the guildsmen. Okay, the next one is the dyer, specializes in dyeing clothes, working closely with the weavers. So he is also another guildsman. So he is symbolizing here the trade unity. The next one is the cook. So he is talented at preparing flavorful dishes, but notably has a painful ulcer on his leg. So this is a symbol of a moral and physical corruption. Okay, the next character is the tapestry maker, weaver, a skilled guildsman who works with textiles, parts of the group of tradesmen. The next character is the second nun, a devout and pious woman, companion to the priories and dedicated to religious life. The next one is the priest, one of priories' attendants, also devout and religious. The next one is the host, the innkeeper of the tavern, cheerful, outspoken, and the one who proposes the storytelling contest to entertain the pilgrims. The next one and the last one of this series is the canon's human, servant to the canon, knowledgeable about alchemy but disillusioned by its deceit. Okay, so I have discussed all the characters from the Canterbury Tales. So previously I mentioned a character, Harry, the host of the inn. So he suggests a contest to pass the time on their journey. So each pilgrim will tell 2 tales on the way to Canterbury and 2 on the way back. So whoever tells the best story will win a free meal paid for by the others. Okay, now the narrator plays an important role. Chaucer, the narrator, explains that he will repeat the stories as he hears them, even if they are rude or crude, to give an honest account. Chaucer originally planned for 120 tales, each of 30 pilgrims telling 4 stories, 2 on the way to Canterbury and 2 on the return. So it will become 120 in total, but the Canterbury Tales originally contains 24 completed stories, including the prologue. So Chaucer never finished the project. Okay, so let's discuss its significance. So the general prologue is celebrated for his vivid and realistic portrayal of a wide range of human types. Chaucer's keen eye for detail and his ability to capture individual personalities makes the pilgrim feel like real people. Though these portraits, he offers a social critique of his time, especially the corruption he sees within the church. The prologue is also a landmark in English literature for its use of Middle English vernacular, helping to establish it as a viable and respected language for literary works rather than Latin or French. So, in short, the general prologue sets the stage, introduces the characters, and explains why the tales are told. Okay, the explanation ends here. You can check my playlist if you want shorts on this topic.